Previously on the Jay and Dan podcast.
I feel like there's blood coming out of my eyes.
Right. How great would it be if we were on the road promoting our podcast or something, and all of a sudden someone from like CTV Morning Live were trying to ask you a question and you answered by bleeding out of your eyeball? Do we need orthopedics?
No, Lakota. I'm going to be the spokesperson for that. You just wait.
Did they have the KISS pinball machine?
No, but they have a KISS indicator thing in which you find out if you're like a wet slurper or something.
What? A wet slurper? Were you a wet slurper?
I didn't play that game. It doesn't even show up on my map. It's like my map's like, you're
The city is just being built now. They're just building Montreal.
What's your first name? I said, Dan. She said, okay, D-A-M? I'm like, don't. My name's not Dan.
Is that what happens on RDS?
Yes.
Right? On RDS, everyone's got cigarettes lit, and that's how they're doing trade deadline day.
You're listening to the Jay and Dan podcast.
Brought to you by the Delta Scarborough. Hey, it's a Delta in Scarborough. What do you expect?
Dance. We're into March, baby.
It's March and winter continues thanks to the curse of Dan.
Hey, but we have March break coming up. Just a heads up. We won't be here next week.
Yeah, we're going to take a week off, so you will get a podcast on the 17th of March. Is that right, Christoph?
18th. Ooh,
18th?
St. Patty's Day's on a Sunday? That stinks.
18th of March, we'll be back. So you'll have this pod. We'll take a week off, back on the 18th of March.
We'll
and then
recap
we have
our big vacations.
We have some big news.
Oh, we do?
On March 22nd.
Oh, tell me.
It's a Friday.
Yeah?
We are doing our very first live podcast.
What?
In front of human beings.
Yeah, we are. And guess where we're doing it?
At Dan's alma mater, Algonquin College.
Yep. Gonk it up.
That's crazy.
Is that what people say at Algonquin? Gonk it up! Every morning during the announcements. Okay, and just a reminder that signing up for the choir, that takes place in the cafeteria. And hope everyone in Algonquin has a great day. Gonk it up! Hey, when we get there, everybody's going to be saying gonk it up.
That's right. Signs, gonk it. It's being put on by the Algonquin Students Association. They're going to have it in...
You said that like it was a question. Like the listeners would know. I guess.
It's in an auditorium at Algonquin?
Again, you're the point man on this. I don't know. I don't know what I'm walking into, but I'm excited about it.
Let me go to the Algonquin website, see if I can figure this out, because we should have some...
Well, shouldn't you remember? Isn't there like a...
I never went to an auditorium there. I never went to a library there.
Did you go to a class?
Yes.
This is the place you graduated by writing an essay, right?
Yes.
And I can't wait to talk about that with your professors who will be in the audience. Do we know if it's sold out?
The AC community. No idea. I'm trying to find it on the Algonquin College website. Maybe they want no part of it by admitting that they're having it. I don't know, but it's hidden on their website.
I keep getting people saying they're seeing signs about it. Lisa Wagle from, I hope I'm saying that right, Wagle, from Rachel Holman's team, she said she's seen signs for it. So do we have billboards around Ottawa?
I've got information.
Oh boy, we were not prepared for this.
I went to the Algonquin Students Association website. I just went Algonquin College, Jay and Dan. It came up. Okay. It's going to be at the Algonquin Commons Theater, Building E. Woodruff Avenue.
Oh, yeah.
That's I walked to that campus.
A lot of dirty stuff happens on Woodruff.
What? Tickets are only $18.
That's a great deal.
Holy
Great deal. Now,
okay.
we should mention, though, that this could just be a precursor to future live events. This could just be the beginning. And don't expect that $18 ticket price to exist all across the country, okay?
Those dollar bills, y'all.
This is just a student thing, and so don't hold us to that one.
And this is a good sign. The lobby and the bar is open at 7. There's going to be booze. Oh, man. Perfect.
People are going to be bombed. I can't wait.
And if you are going to the show and you want to drink mid-show, get up and get one.
Do we want everyone getting up all through the show? No, I don't.
Come on, it'll be fun.
Terrible idea. I mean, if you got to get up and take a leak, of course, go for it, or go out and have a dart. But do we want like mass amounts of people just wandering around? And then people will be in the back, like there'll be groups of people having drinks in like groups.
Give me a rimmer, and that's it.
We're talking up here, guys. Can you just give us a second?
Okay, so load up on your bevies.
Yeah.
And then come into the theater when the doors open at 7:30 and the show starts. It's from 8 to 10. It's 2 hours?
That seems too long. Usually we like to do an hour pod.
What?
But you agreed to this again. You're the one who arranged all of this. And I believe but I believe that isn't there, aren't we signing something at the end? And then we're doing a Q&A.
We're doing a
what does it
ribbon
say?
cutting for the...
What does it say? On the Algonquin website.
All ages, general admission.
So it's all ages, but there's booze being served. Jeez, that seems like a bad combo.
He drinks at lunchtime.
Oh, man, this is going great.
Tickets available in person at the Algonquin Commons Theater box office.
Perfect.
The box office is located in the Robert C. Gillette Student Commons Room E104.
Ooh, that's Robert Kraft. Robert C. Gillette. That was his... alter ego. He booked himself into the Orchids of Asia spa in Jupiter, Florida.
We want to still be able to go to Algonquin.
Robert C. Gillette. That's me. Your last name is Gillette? Yes. So I'll just need a massage.
You can also get tickets
what's the
online at Ticketfly.
So check it out. I have no idea if this is sold out already and we're talking nonsense, but if it's not, please buy tickets and come see it. If you don't go to Algonquin College, we'd still love to see if you're in the Ottawa area. Maybe you live in Smith Falls. Maybe you live in Manotick.
Here's
Maybe you live in Nepean.
So this website, if you don't know who we are and you clicked on it, you aren't buying tickets because here's the sales pitch. They're on your TV and mobile device with SC with Jay and Dan.
Okay.
Presented by Tim Hortons.
That's true.
Airing weeknights on Canada's sports leader.
That's fine.
Their incarnation of SportsCenter, SC with Jay and Dan, presented by Tim Hortons, includes highlights, trending stories, and segments like You Blew It and The Jannies, as well as other surprises across TSN's various programs and platforms, courtesy of producer Tim, cameraman Glenn, and Coors Light reporter Brennan Halloran.
Yeah, that's all true.
There's no mention of the podcast.
Oh, no, but they're just talking about us, who we are.
That's it.
CKDJ.
And then they have a link.
Can't wait to talk about CKDJ. CKDJ was at Algonquin, right?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's going to be fun.
And
what a
then they
fun
say,
night it's going to be. Folks, you got to come check it out.
And then they say, listen to episodes of Jay and Dan podcast on TSN. And then they have a link to the one where we have Mark Masters landing at the World Juniors.
Perfect. That's a great example of what you'll be hearing. Maybe we can get Brent Wallace to show up and dance.
Oh, and Algonquin is a non-smoking campus, it says here.
Oh, so no darts for you guys. Sorry. So you'll have to crush your darts at home or in your car on the way to the gonk. Let's gonk it up, yo! Is that what we said?
Yeah.
Gonk it up. Let's gonk it up, yo! Hey, Krista.
Maybe here's what we can do. It's walkable where I used to live when I went to Algonquin. Maybe we can take the entire crowd for a walking tour to my old house.
I already hate the idea. I will absolutely not be doing that.
But you don't think it'd be easy to get a room full of people to walk down the 1.5 kilometers down the street?
I think we could do it. I'm not saying we couldn't do it. I'm just saying I'm not taking part. I'll be in the lobby bar of the chateau at that point while you're wandering the streets of Algonquin campus.
No, that's how we fill the other hour. We just hang out in the lobby bar of the theater.
No, we don't need to fill it. We know how we're filling the 2 hours. Don't be alarmed. We know exactly how we're going to fill all the time.
So, Stoff, do we have a master collection of my CK DJ tapes? Because we're going to need that.
I love how you ask him questions like that.
But he had,
yes, they're in the library.
Yeah, he's got
They're in the
a
library.
master collection of them. No, but you've got a lot of great drops, I would think, from over the course of the last little while. We'll put it all together. We'll make sure we get all the good stuff. Because we do want to talk about CK DJ and Dan Sumner.
100%, yeah.
You know what, Dan? What you need to do is get some of your old professors to make sure they come to the show so we can bring them on stage. You remember all your old professors, don't you?
let me see if they're still there.
Hey, Stoff, while Dan's checking about his old profs, can we play the John Oliver clip? I'm very excited about this. A few people have sent me tweets about it, and I'm very excited. Ready? Here it is. My wife. That was John Oliver. That was John Oliver saying "my wife."
Yes, it was. Yes.
Can we hear it again?
Not the greatest quality, I believe. The person who sent it to us may have got
We
it
got
off
the
their
gist.
TV, but
I still dig it.
Yeah.
effort.
I still dig what he's doing there. My wife. I miss
My wife.
Yeah, I still like that. Yeah, they're both pretty good. They're both pretty good.
CK DJ still around.
Oh man, we're gonna have a great time talking about that.
Hey,
It's still f***ing cold. Jesus.
Yeah, it is, but the sun's shining. You had a big Saturday night.
I did.
I didn't hear anything about this. No details. I just knew you went and you enjoyed yourself.
Well, there's not much to say. Every year, my wife and I, and she arranges it. She does all the planning.
My wife.
She plans a birthday dinner for producer Tim, and it's just me, my wife,
My wife.
and producer Tim, and we
Just
go.
the three of you.
Yeah, it's just a threesome. And we just go out to a lovely Toronto restaurant. Last year we went to Harbor 60 where you went with O-Dog.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a great restaurant. And this year we went to Momofuku Kojin, which is the new Momofuku restaurant in downtown Toronto. And it's
So is it on the second level?
yeah, and it's all exactly. It's the second level. The noodle bar is on the main level, and they have all the grilled meats because Timo, he likes his steaks. So I wanted to get kind of a different.
You wanted
version of a steak
to get
restaurant.
some meat in his mouth.
Yeah, I wanted to get some meat in his mouth, and men fed it to him,
Men feed my mouth.
and it was good. It was all. I can't recommend that place.
So the way
enough.
you're describing it kind of sounds like a Brazilian barbecue.
Well, so Paula, I want to make sure I'm getting her last name right. Paula, the head chef, it was so funny. I was telling them she used to work at Sanigan's, the butcher shop in Kensington Mark when I lived there, and I remembered her from that. And I remember thinking, wow, she'll never remember this, but I remember this woman who's now the head chef at Momofuku. She's got all the success, Paula. She used to serve me at the butcher shop in Kensington Market. And as I was saying that, I was telling my wife and Tim this story. The manager brought her out to the table because and then she walked up to me and said, "Do you remember I used to serve you at Sanigan's?" And I was like, "Yes, I was just telling them this story."
Oh, and then?
We made love.
No, I thought she was going to say, "Don't you remember that day that you..."
Well, I probably came in hungover constantly. Is that what you meant?
No, I thought coming
on
out
everyone?
accusatory tone.
No, she was so sweet.
Oh, okay.
She was so sweet. So it was a wonderful time. But I brought up the cold, Dan, because something has happened to me, and this is really disturbing. And I blame you a little bit because you said winter was over, but winter has gone on so long, and it is so dry in Toronto. It's so dry that something has happened to my body, and I want to talk about it. I have developed sensitive nipples.
You need to get nipple guards, nipple shields.
Like really, like Sensi nips. I've got Sensi nips. Like they're so sore and chafed, constantly chafed. I'm in the shower and I look down and they're throbbing like Rudolph's nose. They're just throbbing in there because I like to take long hot showers, but then your skin dries out, right? So I look down and it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. And the nips are so hard and bulbous. And I know some guys are into having their nips touched, but I don't like that. Like, my wife will touch my nips to piss me off. You know, like she'll touch them and twist them. She's like, you like that? I'm like, no, off, woman.
You know what you need to do? I know you don't want to. Undershirt.
I know. I thought about that. And I'm very anti-undershirt.
I know the feeling. You feel like an old man.
It feels like
putting
old. It feels like I'm giving up.
Are we dialing up our guest?
Oh, before we do though, can we play?
Well, just wait.
No, we have to play this quick thing. You'll appreciate it.
Okay.
In honor of my Sensei Nips.
Yeah, what up? Smoke the crack, fresh dick, get high in the whole house.
My mom makes me take my nips, cause my nips get bloody when the skin rips, cause I wear a tight shirt that chafes my nips. Nobody likes bloody nips.
Why don't you wear a bigger shirt or an undershirt or any kind of shirt that doesn't touch your nips? Maybe you just get a shirt with holes in it, and let's stop talking about it. I don't know anyone else with that problem. Why don't you talk to your guidance counselor before singing a song about it?
Tape my nips, my bloody nips. My mom tapes my bloody nips. Blah, 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 bloody nips. Nobody wants my bloody nips. With a scratchy shirt and my nipples in the zone. Please just leave my nips alone.
You know, a boy your age shouldn't really have sensitive nipples like that. It's really a girl's problem.
I should not have sensitive nips.
This is a song about a woman's problem, and it's
You don't want to wear the undershirt because you feel like an old man, but I tell you, every time you put it on, when it's straight out of the dryer and it's tight, it feels like a big hug around you.
Whoa. Save it for the bedroom.
And you don't have wind blowing up your shirt. You're protected against the elements.
I never felt I needed one for like warmth reasons, but now with these Sensei Nips that I have, and I seriously have Sensei Nips, like they are still, it's been 2 weeks now where they're like bulbous. They're like what the belly button looks like after you cut the umbilical cord. That's what my nips look like right now. So anyway, if anyone has some nip suggestions, I'd happily take them.
Our guest needs 5 minutes. Maybe he's indisposed.
Well, that's okay. There's another thing we wanted to bring up.
Do you find it rude? I responded with K. I text that to some people, and they're like...
I text it to you as a joke because you text it to me all the time.
I don't mind it at all.
People hate it.
Oh.
I think people in general hate it.
Oh, okay.
But I think that's why you should keep doing it. That's your thing. I don't think you should stop. Own K.
So we'll give him 5 minutes. What do you want to play? Because I had something to play here, too.
Yeah, no. Well, go ahead, because can we play Sensei Nips again, just the beginning? Well, Dan's...
Yeah, Stoff is also going to dial up something from Algonquin.
Yeah, what up? Smoke the crack, fresh dick, get high in the whole house.
My mom makes me take my nips, cause my nips get bloody when the skin rips.
Bring
Cause
this
I wear
down.
a tight shirt that chafes my nips.
There we go. Oh no, what happened? Dan just dribbled all over himself.
I think I missed. I felt it on my chin, and then I moved.
Can I felt it on my chin be a new drop, Stoff? Thank you.
Absolutely.
Stoff, did you get that link I sent you?
Let me check.
I just texted it to you.
Stoff just replied, K.
It's the, I just want to...
Just today I replied K to something you said because I thought you'd pick up on it, but you didn't. I can't remember what it was.
Oh, you responded with K. I said, I told you about the podcast in Ottawa and we should talk about it. And you said K. I had no issue. I'm like, yeah, you got it.
Well, it does. It
I don't know if
accomplishes what you want to accomplish.
Have you noticed that now on my text I have the read function on?
Oh, so you can say like laugh at things?
No. So you can see when I've opened it. The reason being now I can't ignore text and say I'll respond later because the person sees that I read it, so I respond immediately now.
But I don't understand why you want that.
Because
to motivate yourself?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because I'll read a text and I'm like, I'll get to that person later. And then a month later, I'm like, oh, I didn't respond.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't have it on because I can't be bothered to look at when people send me that stuff. I don't want to. I want to be oblivious.
I am oblivious, and then I'll check my phone, and then the person can see that I'm not ignoring them. I just haven't looked at my phone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, or maybe they don't care.
Oh, they care.
So what were you going to play? Is that what you were going to play?
Well, it's the Algonquin College radio broadcasting program, video on YouTube. This is the program I took. Again, Algonquin, great college. I went there. We're doing our podcast from there.
I can't wait.
March 22nd.
Friday, March 22nd,
They have a
guys.
video on YouTube, and I thought we'd take a look at it. I've never seen this.
Oh, great.
So I want to hear what they say describing the program.
So it'll be all Dan CKDJ clips.
My name is Dan Polanen, and I teach in the radio broadcasting program at Algonquin College. Students learn every aspect of radio in our 2-year program. We really feel strongly that we need to get students on the air as soon as they come into the program, which is early, but it gives them a chance to work on what they do on the air. And for the students that don't want to be on the air, they really need to understand what it's like, and they do that over the full 2 years of the program. We do get students that didn't think that they could do it, but they learn how to do those interviews, and they learn those skills and do very well. Work placement is a really important part of the program. The entire 4th semester is field placement. So we have students going to radio stations all over Canada. We've had some international field placements as well. Our grads are pretty much working in every radio station in Ottawa. Some stations, it's hard to find somebody that works there that isn't a grad of our program. So we're pretty proud of that. But our grads really are right across Canada. They live all over the world.
There you go. Wow. Dan really sounds like a dynamic professor. Our kids are all over the planet and all over Ottawa.
Could have said some students also go into TV.
Nope. Sorry. That's seems a very radio-based program. Is that true? It was all radio, wasn't TV?
I didn't take TV. I took radio.
Oh, this is new. I thought it was like TVN. I didn't think there was just a radio-based. Huh.
And then
That's kind of
maybe
interesting.
he could say, and others have ventured into the lucrative world of podcasts.
Yes. Yes, lucrative indeed.
Dan O'Toole here.
That's CKDJ.
I really hope
CKDJ.
I hope they play some CKDJ clips for the students now as an example of what not to do. Don't do this.
They could say, listen how bad this guy is. And then
look at him now.
Yeah, he's
Dan O'Toole here.
still employed.
He's a star. He's a star, Kay?
I'm the mayor.
Exactly. Another thing I wanted to play quickly, Dan. This is very confusing. Mike Babcock last week.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what the hell? This is Mike Babcock talking about John Tavares going back to Long Island, the big game where they booed the heck out of him. Just vitriol from the Islander fans towards John Tavares. And this was Mike Babcock afterward talking about it.
That's life. You make decisions and they get to say what you want. What I've always said in my family, if your knees don't hit the kitchen table, your opinion probably doesn't matter.
So
people are confused by that.
Because that's what you'd say about a toddler. You'd say that to your child.
Right.
So,
so I guess, is that a subtle dig at the Islander fans that they're a bunch of babies? A bunch of toddlers?
If your knees don't hit the kitchen table, your opinion probably doesn't matter.
I don't know if that quote applied to this situation. I think that was everyone's confusion.
You could say that if a team was in last place, but the Islanders are a very good hockey team.
Excellent hockey team. And also, I think the fans had every right to boo the out of Tavares. Every right. I actually loved it. Yeah. I loved the passion they showed. I don't want them throwing stuff at him. Everyone's like, oh, they threw a jersey. Well, it didn't even come close to him. And I don't think if a jersey landed on someone's head, I don't think they're getting a concussion.
But still, don't throw things.
Don't throw things. Just don't throw things. But I love the passion. The fans were incredible. The chants, wear your PJs, and we don't need you, and all that stuff. It was great. I would love to see that in more Canadian buildings.
And one of the other ones was past your bedtime, I think?
Past your bedtime. Night, JT. No, that wasn't one. I'd like to see more fan bases come up with creative chants, like the Jets fans do.
Oh, and while I remember, this has nothing to do with John Tavares. This has to do with the Ottawa podcast. If you have a resident of Ottawa, like a Daniel Alfredson or a Radek Bonk, that you would like as our guest on the podcast, throw out ideas.
That's
because
a great idea.
We're gonna try get a surprise guest.
Yeah, we have a couple people in mind that we'd like, but if there's an overwhelming amount of people on Twitter who go to the @JayandDan and say we want this person, that person, then we'll make an effort to get them. Maybe Dan's old professor, Dan.
Don Crockford.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe Eugene Melnick. Maybe Pierre Dorian, the number one GM in the NHL.
Mike Commodore is our guest. Mike, should Pierre Dorian, he should just shave off that hair, right? Just go bald?
Pierre Dorian?
Yeah.
He's doing a great job, just unloading everybody, getting some picks.
Dan's obsessed with his hair, though, Mike. Like, I don't know why it bothers
because
you
it
so
looks
much.
disheveled.
I think it's fine.
I'm right in front of the computer here. I got to be honest, I don't think I've ever really noticed his hair. Let me just Google it.
Most guys don't notice other guys' hair unless it's Mike Commodore's beautiful fro.
All right, images.
Careful, your search history is probably burning that computer's hard drive up.
Hold on, there must be another Pierre Dorian because I'll have to pump in centers. There he is. That is a lot of forehead showing.
Oh, yeah.
What do you call that when it goes way back? Receding, but
yeah, he's massively receding.
Yeah, actually, it's time for it to go.
It would look better if he kept it a little more tight up there.
Yeah,
it definitely would look better.
The dream's over, Pierre. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Many,
might look all right with bald, actually.
Look
okay.
Yeah, he would look good bald. Bald. You know, one thing I will say, Mike, is the dream is over for Pierre in many, many ways. The dream for Sens fans is, if you're a Sens fan right now, is there any shred of hope for you?
I mean, you just got to lower the expectations. You know, the team scores a goal or two in a game, just be happy. You know what I mean? Hey, we scored. You know, things you can't get any worse. So it's only going to go up from here. Hopefully they draft well. You know, pray you get some good draft picks. And I don't know what they're doing with the coaching staff.
They got Crawford now.
Yeah, Mark Crawford's
What do you
there
think
now.
of that?
Have you ever had Mark Crawford? You've played on a lot of teams. Has he ever been on one of the staffs?
No. I never have, but so I don't know him. I've never met him. I've never seen him in person unless it was on the opposite bench. But I will say I haven't heard a whole lot of good things about him. So I don't know.
Well, I think he's in that old school, you know, tough coach mode like your buddy Babcock. He's that guy. And,
yeah. Which tough coach is fine. I think there's a difference between being like you can be a tough coach, that's fine, and then you can just be like. I want to watch my language here, but you can be arrogant off the chart and like treat people terribly.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a tough coach. I think that's just a bad person. So I don't know. I don't want to comment on Mark Crawford that far because I don't have firsthand information. I never actually experienced it. But from what I'm here, I'm lucky I didn't.
How was your trade center day? Because I believe you broke the biggest trade. That was Kevin Hayes to the Peg.
Yeah. I heard he's really enjoying it in Winnipeg. No, I didn't get that one right. I think I traded him to Calgary.
Oh, really? Didn't you break a big one?
Yeah, I broke the Mark Stone trade.
Mark Stone, that was the one.
Yeah, I got that one. And actually, the one that I really drilled was Nyquist to San Jose.
Yes. We were following you the night. That was the night before, right?
Yeah. Yes. So
you had that at like 7 Eastern, and they didn't announce it till after midnight.
Yeah, so they couldn't announce it till midnight. So my source gave me this information. So I actually figured some things out that night. So my source gives me this information. So I go straight to Twitter. I'm in like a huge rush to get this thing off because I figure, you know, Bob or somebody, Darren Drager's going to come over the top and kill my buzz. So I'm in a big rush to just get this thing out. So I get it out, and I sit there and I like wait. And no, you know, you get the odd retweet and stuff like that, but no comments. So I'm waiting, and I'm like, when is this trade going to happen? When's this going to be announced? So I'm looking at Bob's account, and they got nothing. A couple hours go by. I don't know how many times I like scrolled down on my phone to refresh my feed. And then so I messaged my source in Detroit, and he's like, yeah, we can't announce it until midnight. I think it was a roster or spot or something like that. So as soon as midnight hits, like Eastern time, obviously, as soon as it hits, within a second, Bob's all over it. Everybody's all over it. Hey, this is the trade, this and that. And I'm like, I had this thing 6 hours ago. So I figured something out that day. I didn't know that these guys get most of their information, unless it's just a rumor, they get most of their information from like the fax guy or whatever they use at the league office. Like, I got to go to a little trip to New York and buddy up with some of these guys and give them some cash, and I'll be the new insider.
Well, I was
legit breaking everything.
But you could, like, the thing is, you are doing that. This is what I wanted to talk to you about. Like, I think your approach on Twitter is funny and very you, but I think you're confusing some people into thinking you're joking. You know what I mean? Like, because you have this information so early, I think some people are like, it's Commie, he's f***ing around. When in actual fact, you're f***ing breaking this.
Yeah, because if people don't follow you on Twitter, you announce it by saying, hey, so-and-so, pack your bags, you're headed to blank. So that's how you do it. You're very entertaining, so I can see, yes, as Jay said, how some people might be confused.
Yeah, and I will, being totally honest, when I first started, it was just Google who were probably going to get traded that year and just start trading them everywhere. Whenever I could think, just fire them off. I didn't have any sources. I'm just like, whatever. I'd be looking around and be like, oh, potential destination, good enough for me. See you later. But then actually over the last couple of years, I tried to get one trade the first year, and I did do that. I think it was, didn't Curtis Lazar get traded 2 years ago? I think it was 2 years
ago. Sounds about right. Maybe.
Yeah, he came and he was like one of those trades that came like after the deadline.
Yes, right.
And I was like, God, I struck out. And then, bang, like at 3 o'clock Eastern, Lazar to Calgary, and I actually had it. I was like, I'm on the board. And then last year, I'm like, I need 2, and I can't remember which ones I got last year's 2, and then this year's 3, and actually my sources are actually starting to become a little bit legit. And I like to have fun with it and everything. So yeah, off to the races.
Mike, I'm being serious about this. I'm trying to recruit you to TSN because Bob told us just last week or the week before on this podcast that this year's trade center was his second last ever trade center. Like next year, he's done. We need fresh blood in here, and you would be fantastic. You've got the looks, you've got the hair, you've got the contacts, you've got the don't give a attitude of Jeff O'Neill. All these things.
True.
Yes.
O-Dog and I get along great.
Perfect.
It would be, you guys together on the panel, it would be dynamite.
I'd be laughing. I would enjoy it. I had no idea, Bob. We only had one more year left. I'll have to keep that in mind. Thank you for thinking of me. I appreciate it.
Now, the only issue is, like, how hard do you want to work at this?
Well, that's just it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to have to really start watching my language. And you know what? Like, those guys in the Trade Center show are great and everything, but, like, I've watched that a couple times, and I'm like, oh, that's a long day for those guys.
It's a long day.
But one day a year. One day a year.
I don't know. Grind it out.
Hey, well, as a player, what was trade deadline day like?
I mean, it depended on your situation. I got traded a couple times at the deadline or in and around the deadline. It didn't always happen that day, but I would say it depended on your situation. I was in the minors in Cincinnati because Babcock was the head coach in Anaheim. And so I was directly straight go down to the Cincinnati Mighty Ducks. And it was the trade deadline, and I was riding the bus. I think we were going from like Milwaukee to Chicago or something like that. And the deadline came, and I'm like, please, somebody, like anybody trade for me. Call my agent. He has no idea. He's like, no, I shouldn't say he has no idea. He says, no. Well, he ended up being, he didn't know. He's like, no, I don't think anything's going to happen. I'm like, oh my God, I got to stay here. I'm like, I don't have a hope. And anyways, found out like literally 5 minutes later, somebody's like, hey, I think he just got traded, one of the guys on the team. I'm like, really? I'm like, I just got off the horn with my agent. And so they're like, yeah, you got traded. So they literally dropped me off at the airport with my bag, and off I went to a couple more games in the minors, and then I finished the year in Calgary. But so that wasn't great. Or that was great, sorry. I got that backwards. That was an awesome day. But at the same time, there are times like, and as much as I did enjoy my time in Ottawa, although we weren't very good when I was there, but I did have a good experience there. I mean, when I got traded out of Carolina, I wasn't like super pumped. You know, I mean, I had a really good setup there. I know why they did it because they weren't going to pay me, but I did enjoy that. So it all depends on where you're at. I couldn't even imagine going through it like the guys that have kids and stuff, like a wife and kids. I was single basically my whole career, but like a wife and kids and doing that would be...
Yeah, like Matt Duchene, he just had his kid, so he has a newborn, and he get traded to a different country, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be a lot going on. I mean, I know that they get a lot of help from the team for sure, but that's still a lot going on. There's no doubt. Matt actually messaged me right after he got traded, probably the day later, about renting my house in Columbus, but unfortunately, I had just sold it.
Back in the day, the players must have had some horror stories about arriving to a new team, like no one to pick them up at the airport, no accommodation, no idea where they're headed,
carrying their own bags. That.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. That was probably a little. I'm trying to think of all the times I got traded, like kind of what the worst. I think there was usually somebody there for me. I don't remember any time that off the top of my head where I was like, man, this is Bush League. The only time where I did think it was a little bit Bush League was when I got traded in the summer from New Jersey to Anaheim. I didn't even get a call from Jersey. I literally found out on the ticker at the bar. I was like, wait, what? And I looked again, and it was kind of later at night, and I had a few cocktails. This was early July. And I'm like, I thought I saw someone with the Ducks, and then I'm like, what? Somebody's like, hey, was that your name on there? I'm like, I don't know. And I had to wait for it to scroll through again. And I'm like, oh, shit, I just got traded to Anaheim. No phone calls, no nothing. I'm like... I mean, not that
Thanks,
I was a great
Lou.
player for New Jersey. Yeah, it's like, Lou, get somebody to call me. You don't have to, but somebody will call me and be nice.
Can you return our keys, please? You just got traded. Hey, how was your Saturday night?
It was awesome. It was good. It was a great. I knew I was going to go, but I wasn't sure exactly what the ceremony was.
And just wait, I should tell people this is the Jarome Iginla, the Jersey retirement that happened in Calgary Saturday night.
Yeah, so I knew I was going to the game, obviously, and we had a suite as alumni, but I only played 38 games here, so I'm like, I told the players, I'm like, hey, I don't expect to be out on the ice. Honestly, swear to God, I really don't, and I didn't think I was going on, so. I don't know if you guys have ever seen him, but have you guys seen that T-shirt from back in the day, hanging in the dome, chilling with Jarome, where it's a picture of him when he was 10 years old?
Yeah.
So I found that. My parents this summer, after I bought a place in Calgary, finally came and dropped all my shit off. Medals and articles and shirts and jerseys and from back when I was really young. And so I'm going through all this and I come across this shirt. I had one of these shirts. I didn't even know I had it. So I had that all picked out. I'm like, this is the perfect time to wear it to this game. I'm going to look like the man. And then the Flames called me 2 hours before the ceremony started. They're like, hey, you're on the ice. We need you to wear a suit. I was like, I couldn't wear that with it. Can't be out there with it. I probably actually could have pulled it off, but.
You could have worn that under a blazer.
Yeah, I should have. I didn't, but I should have. But yeah, the ceremony was awesome. I thought it was really well done. People were super excited. I thought all the guys that spoke were good. It was good. It was good. We hung out a little bit the night before over at Craig Conroy's house, so that was nice.
Oh, man. First, let me stop you right there. What's that like? Connie opens the door, and there's beverages in his hand.
Oh, yeah. His downstairs is like an old school kind of pub, sort of old pub in a golf clubhouse.
Oh, cool.
Kind of it was cool. I gave him because he's never had me over before. I'm like, Craig, I've only been in and out of here for 15 years. Thanks for finally inviting me over. And your place is 5 minutes from my house. But no, it was fun. We had a few drinks, and then everybody had a lot of drinks on Saturday. But yeah, it was really good. I thought Jarome was going to get a little emotional, but he didn't.
Yeah, he kept it together. How was our coworker Jamie McLennan, Noodles?
Yeah, he was great. He was a couple down from me. He was good. He looked like he was keeping it together too. But him and the day before there was a luncheon just to kind of celebrate with sponsors and people like that for the Flames. So Jamie and Jarome, Martin Iginla, Robin Regier, and Craig Conroy were up on kind of a hot stove thing for that. So Jamie's always good. He can talk. He tells good stories. So no, everything. I would say everything went right according to plan. I don't think Jarome knew when he was supposed to leave the ice. It was actually kind of funny from our angle watching.
Yes, I saw that too. Yeah, he left in front of his family.
Yeah, his family was standing there, and I'm not sure he knew what to do. And Peter Mahar was kind of waving him to come over, and so I could see this whole thing from him standing. I'm like, can't hear anything in there. So Jarome was just kind of smiling, and then he just walks away. I'm like, oh, I guess Jarome's out of here. He's at it. But
He was right at the end boards, and they had a spotlight on him, and kind of just went like, yeah, bye, I guess.
Wave. See you guys later.
Hey, before we let you go, Commie, I was looking at your Hockey DB, which is the go-to site for any stats. If people don't know it, I don't know how you would know it by now. Any player, you could have played bantam hockey with a guy, and his stats will be on here. Anyway, you played, I don't think we've ever talked to you about this. You played a season in the KHL?
I did. My last year pro.
How was that?
Overall, I mean, I got some really good stories. Overall, so I ended up getting a contract there late. So I didn't. I got a lot of. I got a lot of stories from the KHL, but yeah. Overall, I would say it was. So I played on an expansion team. When I signed a contract there, it was late because there wasn't an NHL team that wanted me. They were going to have me on a tryout, but I was like, I played in Russia for the World Championships in 2007. So I'm like, I want to play in Russia. And for whatever reason, I wanted to do that, and I wasn't interested in it. Although the other leagues in Europe are good too. I was like, I just cared about Russia. I couldn't even tell you why. But so training camp start, Belarus was telling me for like 6 weeks, Minsk, they were like, yeah, we want you. Now it's the end of September. I missed every training camp. I got no offer. So I ended up calling Slava Fetisov, who was my first assistant coach, D-coach in New Jersey. And, like, somehow managed to get a hold of him, and it was, like, a bad connection. And he's like, Misha. I'm like, Slava. He's like, Misha. I'm like, hey, get me a contract in the KHL. He's like, oh, Misha, you good guy. Okay, I get your contract. And he's gone. I'm like, okay. Next day, my agent got a contract offer from Vladivostok. So I don't even look where it is. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Just sign it. I'm like, where is Vladivostok? I've never heard of this place before. So it's like, it's 60 miles from North Korea on the Pacific Ocean. So, like, our travel was, we'd play 4 games at home, 4 on the road. 4 games at home, 4 on the road. Minimum travel time to start the road trip was a 10-hour flight. It was insane. It was like putting it'd be like putting an NHL team in like Frankfurt, Germany, and having them play in the Western Conference. It was insane.
Did you? I'm looking at it on the map now. Oh, yeah. You're out there.
You're out there.
You're in the bottom of Russia.
Yeah.
It must have been warm. Did you have beaches?
Yeah, they had beaches there. I wouldn't say it was warm, though. Like, it wasn't freeze. It was like kind of like a wet cold.
And did they have, like, did you get an apartment? Did you get a car?
No, you don't want a car there. I'm telling you, you get a car there, you are going to be, hopefully you're alive. You will be in a major car accident within 2 minutes of trying to drive. There's no rules.
Yeah, that's true.
No rules there. But no, we stayed in. They built a brand new university the year before because they had like the G8 summit there. So Putin built like a brand new bridge, brand new, the Far East Federal University. So we stayed there for a little bit, which was okay, but it's Russian. Like, I think I could have walked through the walls, and the buildings are brand new. So I went and got an apartment on my own and got a driver, and yeah, there was. I guess the best way to put it was I'm really glad I did it. I think it was a really good experience. The hockey was really good. There's nobody teaches them anything on how to play as a team there, but the hockey was good. But there were some long days. The jet lag was insane.
Yeah. And did Slava every once in a while call and check in on you?
Slava had bigger fish to fry than me, but he would, like, the arena was called Fetisov Arena, so he used to be like Slava Fetisov. The last time I saw him was over here. And so since then, he's become boys with Putin. I think he's the minister of sport right now.
Oh, wow.
Before that, he was like the governor of that area of the country, Primorska. I can't pronounce it, but whatever that region is over there, he was like I'm going to get it wrong, the governor or one of the leaders out there. And he's a hockey legend. Like, so he would come in. Basically, he's the reason why that team was there. And he would come in. He would come to a few games, actually quite a few. He would come to a few games, and every once in a while he would walk into the room, and it was like, for the Russians, it was like God himself walked into the room. You couldn't hear a pin. Everybody just stopped and stared at him, and then he would come over to me, and to me, he's Slava Fetisov, like he's obviously a legend, but he's like Slava, the guy that used to bag me every Rodeo, New Jersey, and like expect me to play. Really, I'm like, Slav, I can't feel my legs, man. You skated me for an hour and a half after practice. But I just kept working for him, and he's a good guy.
I love how you describe Russia by exactly how I describe it to people because we went to the Sochi Olympics. It's Russia. Hey, did you ever, last question, did you ever get paid in cash? Because I remember talking to Fred Brathwaite. He played over there, and he said the odd time you get paid in cash and no chance you're counting it in the room that they give it to you.
Yeah, no. One of the biggest disappointments of when I was there is I heard all these Russian stories too. And I was like, yes, I want to get paid in cash. I'm like, yeah, somebody come and give me some money in a brown paper bag.
A wad of bills.
Yeah, just a huge wad of rubles. But no, I never got it. They had direct deposit. I was so disappointed. There's some guys, though, that played back in the day there, like, Brathwaite, Josh Gratton, Nigel Dawes, who's the demon, Kevin Dahlman. There's like a handful of guys that have been over there for quite a while that I think have made a lot of money and played back when it was like when they had mob guys that
when it was the Wild West still.
Yeah, like those guys should be writing books.
Yeah, they probably will.
I hope they do, because I've heard some of these stories, like gangsters coming in the room after the game, drunk with a handgun, waving it around, like stuff like that. I'm like, please, somebody tell me these. Like, I need to read this.
Or someone needs to make a movie out of it.
Yeah, even better.
I survived the K.
Yeah.
Mike Commodore, we thank you as always. You're very entertaining.
Well, thanks a lot for having me, guys. Anytime.
All right, take care, Mike.
That is NHL legend Mike Commodore. You can follow him on Twitter and see what we're talking about with his breaking trades.
He's great on
He's
Twitter.
at
He's
Commie, Commie 22, at Commie 22 on Twitter.
Yeah, check that out. And before we go, just a very quick, our condolences to the family, in all sincerity, of Luke Perry, 52 years old, died today.
So sad, so sad.
So sad. I growing up, 90210, that was the big show. Everyone was watching it.
And you wanted to be as cool as Luke Perry, but you knew you could never be that cool.
Well, he had it was such a funny character because, I think Rob Sheffield and Rolling Stone wrote this. In the hands of any other actor, the character is kind of ridiculous. It's a loner surfer who has inherited a bunch of money, lives alone as a high school student, drives a vintage Porsche.
He's brooding.
He's angry. But then he's always he hates bullies. He's looking out for the little guy. He's friends with Andrea Zuckerman because she doesn't expect anything from him. It was a ridiculous character, and yet he pulled it off. And it was a great show. So anyway, he seemed like a normal guy. That was the thing about him.
Yeah.
You'd hear him in interviews and stuff, and you're like, this guy seems like semi-normal. This hasn't all affected him that much. And I guess he was on this Riverdale show, which I haven't watched.
Which is shot in Vancouver.
Big deal.
Correct?
I don't know. I thought it was shot on the Warner's lot.
I have no clue.
In L.A., but I have no idea. Anyway,
okay,
Luke, he's gone.
We'll talk to you in a week as we're heading off for a March break with our children.
Well, we'll talk to you in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah. We'll talk to you in 2 weeks.